Welcome to the deep dive. So, if you're a marketer these days, you definitely feel it, right? The ground's been shaking. AI search, Google's constant helpful content updates. It feels a bit chaotic.
Oh, absolutely. But here's the interesting thing we found in the sources, the kind of
Yeah.
paradox. Organic traffic, it's actually up pretty healthy, like 6.3% year over year on desktop. Search is still vital.
Yeah, it is vital, but average visit duration is down 1%. So people are finding you, but maybe not sticking around as long.
Exactly. That little drop, that 1%, it tells you so much. They find you, but the evaluation happens fast. So our mission today really is to cut through that noise
Okay.
and give you like the two absolute essentials you need right now.
Mm-hmm.
Trustworthy knowledge sources, where do you actually learn what's going on? And solid performance benchmarks. What's the competition really doing?
Right. And we've based this whole deep dive on this, well, pretty intense benchmarking report. It looks at the top 500 websites across major U.S. industries. And to make sense of it all, we're breaking them down, comparing these three groups. The giants, the top 10, the big names.
The undisputed leaders.
Then the challengers, so sites ranked 11 through 100. And finally, the up-and-comers, that's everyone else, 101 to 500.
And the difference in how these groups operate, their strategies,
Mm,
it's pretty stark.
totally staggering.
Right. When attention is like the number one scarce resource, you have to be smart about where you get your info. So before we dive into the actual data, maybe we should quickly cover that knowledge toolkit.
Good idea.
Like if your team had to pick just a few key resources to stay up to date, what would make the cut?
Okay, yeah. I think you need a few types, right? You need something for the fundamentals, the core principles.
Stabling around. Yeah,
Exactly. Stuff that doesn't change every 5 minutes when Google sneezes. And for that, I still think Moz is, well, kind of non-negotiable.
I agree. Moz is solid, especially because of their Whiteboard Friday videos.
Yeah,
They're just brilliant at breaking down complex SEO ideas visually. Great for training, great for a refresher.
definitely. But then there's the day-to-day chaos, algorithm updates, new tactics.
Volatility.
Yeah. For tracking that and really everything else, content, analytics, AI, search engine journal, SEJ, is basically essential. It's like the daily newspaper for anyone in search.
Yeah, SEJ is the pulse.
Mm-hmm.
And then if SEJ covers the news, the other really critical piece is, well, conversion science. Because if attention's dropping,
You got to make every second count.
precisely. So for pure content strategy, the big picture stuff, Content Marketing Institute, CMI, they're the authority. They even run that huge global content marketing conference.
Right. And then getting more tactical copy hackers is just gold for really actionable copywriting tips, specifically aimed at boosting conversions.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that feature. They have the search filter. You can filter tips based on your role, copywriter, freelancer, founder. Super practical.
That's clever. And then for optimizing the page itself, the landing experience, pure CRO, conversion rate optimization unbounce is the go-to. A/B testing ideas, examples of pages that actually convert.
Yeah. Crucial stuff. Okay, so that covers tactics and conversion. What about like higher level strategy and vision?
Good point. There are two great but very different options there, I think. First, Neil Patel's blog. It's fantastic for actionable tips, often backed by his own experiments. He's worked with giants like Amazon, NBC.
Yeah, he shares a lot of his own results.
Right. And then for more conceptual thinking, Seth Godin, his blog is just
Hmm.
different. Short, daily posts that really make you think about marketing, business, leadership, the bigger picture.
So he gives you the why, maybe, while Patel gives you more of the how?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Good balance. Okay, so we have the toolkit, Moz, SEJ, CMI, Copy Hackers, Unbounce, Patel, Godin.
Plus, we should mention the official Google Ads blog for PPC updates and Search Engine Land for daily news, maybe especially their AI search bot.
Right, good additions. Okay, now let's apply some of this. Let's look at the scoreboard, the benchmark data, starting
Yeah.
with traffic channels
Hmm.
and just the raw power of brand recognition.
Yeah, and this is where splitting into giants, challengers, and up-and-comers really shows its value. Direct traffic.
Yeah.
It just dominates for the big guys in several categories.
It really underscores how much brand equity they have. Take news and media. The top 10 sites, they get a massive 77% of their visits directly.
77%. People just typing in the name or using a bookmark.
Exactly. And look at banking, credit, and lending. It's
Yeah.
even more skewed. Direct traffic is what, 72.7% overall?
Wow. Which makes total sense, right? You don't randomly search for log into my credit card. You go straight to Chase or Amex or
You
whatever.
fight the brand.
Yeah.
Which brings us to this really interesting PPC paradox. The spending is frankly, kind of shocking.
Oh, yeah. Get this. Average monthly PPC spend in insurance, $4.1 million.
Million a month.
And fashion apparel isn't far behind, $4 million a month. Huge numbers, driven by what? High customer lifetime value? Fierce competition?
Probably both. But here's the paradox.
Yeah.
All that spending, where does the traffic actually come from? Back to banking. The giants spend big, sure, average $2.5 million a month.
Yeah.
But they only get about 2% of their traffic from those paid ads.
Only 2%, after spending millions.
Right. But look at the up-and-comers in banking. They rely more on paid ad accounts for 4% of their traffic.
Oh, okay. So the giants are maybe just defending their brand terms, keeping competitors away.
Exactly. It's defense. Well, the up-and-comers, they have to use that super expensive channel just to get noticed. They're buying brand awareness, essentially. They can't rely on direct yet.
That makes sense. A necessary evil for them, maybe? Okay, let's shift to organic search. That landscape is complex too, right?
Definitely. Look at food and drink. For the challengers, remember, ranks 11 to 100 organic search is most critical. It brings in a huge 40% of their traffic.
40%. So how are they pulling that off against the giants?
Well, the data suggests they're smart about it. They're probably focusing hard on niche keywords, long-tail searches, think specific recipes, dietary needs, gluten-free pizza dough recipe, not just pizza delivery.
Right. They're not trying to outbid Domino's for the main terms. They're finding the gaps.
Precisely.
Yeah.
But organic search has this major structural challenge now,
Yeah.
the zero-click problem.
Ah, yes. Where the answer is right there on the Google results page, so you don't need to click through.
Exactly. And in insurance, it's significant. Over 32% of searches apparently result in zero clicks. And look at the giants. In insurance, organic traffic is only like 1% of their total traffic.
Only 1%. Wow. So search isn't driving much for them directly.
And it gets even starker in air travel. Now, organic search is important there overall, like
Yeah.
32, 35% of traffic across the board.
Okay, so quite significant.
But for one major airline, over 80%, 80 of the top 100 non-branded searches resulted in zero clicks.
80% zero click on non-branded searches.
Yeah.
But organic is still 35% of their traffic. How does that work? Are the clicks they do get just incredibly valuable branded searches?
That's pretty much it. That 35% is likely dominated by people searching for Delta check-in or Southwest flight status. Highly branded, high intent.
Yeah.
But for those more general transactional queries, flights to Orlando, maybe the search engine itself is answering the question. You see the flight times, maybe prices, right on Google. You got the info.
But you never clicked through to the airline site.
Right, like looking up a store's hours on Google Maps. You got the answer, you didn't visit their website. It's a huge challenge for capturing that initial non-branded interest.
Man, that zero-click environment really underscores why conversion and loyalty are so critical, especially if attention spans are shrinking too.
Absolutely. Which leads us nicely into the audience and loyalty benchmarks. And, well, the data confirms loyalty is tough, even for the big players.
Yeah, like in air travel.
Air travel has a really low loyalty score overall, just 16.15%. People shop around, compare prices across multiple sites. Delta and Southwest do a bit better on stickiness, getting more returning visitors, but
Generally, people are flighty, no pun intended.
right. And banking. Even there, loyalty is elusive. PayPal is actually an outlier. They manage 17.5% exclusive visitors, which is pretty high.
Okay, interesting.
But the big banks, your Chase, your Bank of America, they struggle to get above 7.5% exclusive visitors. People use them out of necessity, maybe, not deep loyalty.
So with that low loyalty, those conversion tactics we talked about, copy hackers, unbounced become even more critical. If you spend millions on TPC to get someone there.
You absolutely cannot afford to lose them on a confusing landing page or weak call to action. You have one shot.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, what about who these audiences are? The demographic splits were fascinating.
Oh yeah, some real strategic headaches here. Look at beauty and cosmetics. The website audience. Heavily female, 75%. And older, 59% or over 35.
Okay, pretty standard maybe.
But compare that to the same brand's Instagram audience. Still mostly female, 72%, but dramatically younger, 87% or under 35.
Wow. 87% under 35 on Instagram versus almost 60% over 35 on the web.
Exactly. So if you're running a campaign for that brand, you're literally talking to like mom on the website and daughter on Instagram. Your messaging, your creative, it has to be completely different for each channel.
That's a huge strategic divide to manage.
Huge. And you see a similar, but kind of flipped situation in pet food and supplies. Website audience, mostly female, 67%. But their Instagram audience skews heavily male, 66%.
Really? Mail for pets on Instagram.
Yeah, and the 18-24 age group, they're almost entirely coming via Instagram. So if you want young pet owners, you need a strong, probably male-targeted social strategy. Totally different from your web approach.
Wild. Okay, so knowing your channel demographics is absolutely key. What about engagement? Are challengers doing anything differently there?
Yes, and this is interesting. In Home and Garden, the challengers actually show higher visit duration from their email marketing compared to the up-and-comers, and lower bounce rates overall.
What does that suggest?
It points to better segmentation, probably more relevant email content, maybe a smoother user experience on their site once people click through. They're optimizing that journey better.
They're sweating the details.
Seems like it. And one more engagement point, tying back to paid search. In accommodation hotels, the bounce rate for paid search traffic is the lowest across all channels looked at in that category.
Lowest bounce rate for paid.
Yeah, which tells you that when people click those hotel ads, the landing pages they hit are likely extremely well optimized and relevant. The competition is setting a very high bar for quality there. You can't afford duds when you're paying per click.
Makes sense. That level of optimization, the technical complexity, the channel nuances, it really leads us to the need for specialized expertise sometimes, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Which brings us to our final segment, thinking about specialized partners, particularly agencies in really niche or complex sectors, like, say, Web3.
Right. We looked at one example, Ninja Promo. They launched in 2017, full service agency, but with a very specific focus.
Yeah, their sweet spot is disruptive marketing for B2B brands, and especially for Web3 and blockchain startups.
Mm.
They handle complex stuff like ICOs, initial coin offerings, STOs, NFTs, managing those launches in communities.
And they're playing at a high level, right? Clients like Crypto.com, Binance, CoinMarketCap, big names in that space.
Definitely. Now, why is a Web3 agency relevant to, say, a CPG marketer?
Good question.
Because the type of complexity they handle, technical launches, community building in volatile markets, navigating new platforms, it mirrors the challenges many brands face, just maybe in different forms. High-level SEO audits, complex data integration, building loyalty in low-trust environments.
So the skills are transferable in a way.
I think so. Their core strengths, according to the sources, are in branding, creativity, managing online communities, and influencer marketing. All things crucial when loyalty is low and you need to build trust. They also offer SEO, PR, video, even blockchain development.
Okay, so a broad skill set, but with that Web3 B2B edge. What are the downsides, the trade-offs?
Well, two main things stood out. First, the cost. It's not cheap. Minimum fees start around $1,200 a month just to get in the door, and big technical projects can run up to $150,000.
Okay, so definitely requires significant budget.
Right. And the other point noted was a potential limitation, or maybe just less emphasis, on data-driven marketing services compared to some competitors. Analytics and reporting weren't highlighted as their top strengths. It seems they lean more towards the creative, community, and strategic launch aspects.
Got it. So great for branding and community in complex niches, maybe less so if you need pure performance marketing analytics as the core focus.
That seems to be the takeaway. Okay, wow, we covered a lot of ground there.
We really did. From the essential reading list, Moz for foundations, SEJ for the daily pulse, CMI for strategy, to the huge variations in traffic across industries. The dominance of direct for giants like banks versus the absolute necessity of paid search or niche organic for challengers.
And that core paradox.
Yeah.
Traffic is up, but attention is down, forcing everyone to get serious about CRO and understanding their specific audience channel by channel, like we saw with beauty brands.
Yeah. And finally, touching on how specialized agencies like Ninja Promo fit into highly complex areas like Web3.
Ultimately, I think the data paints a clear picture. Brand authority confers a massive advantage in traffic. If you're not a giant, your marketing game has to be fundamentally different. You either find those niches, like the food and drink challengers.
Or you pay up for awareness, like the banking up-and-comers spending millions on PPC.
Exactly. It's a tough landscape.
Which actually brings us perfectly to our final thought for you, the listener. The sources we looked at mentioned a great quote from Peter Drucker. He said, "The most serious mistakes are not being made as a result of wrong answers. The truly dangerous thing is asking the wrong questions."
That's good. And when you think about the data we just discussed, the incredible competition, those massive PPC budgets, $4 million a month in fashion, $4.1 million in insurance, especially when the top brands still get most traffic directly or via branded search.
It makes you wonder.
It really does. Are you asking the right questions about that spend? Is that multi-million-dollar PPC budget genuinely building your brand and reaching new customers? Or are you maybe just optimizing for expensive vanity terms clicks you might have gotten anyway through your established brand presence.
So the challenge is to really examine the strategic ROI, not just the click-through rate, especially when every second of that user's attention is so incredibly precious. Are you asking the right questions about where your money and effort should truly go? Something to think about.